Hi guys, and welcome to First Time Fishing with me, Big Bird, and we've sort of got royalty with us today. You know, somebody who I reckon, you know, somebody who's been, you know, like a knight of the angling realm. We've got Sir Andy May.
Heads like that, I can't even fit in shot him outside, mate, you know what I mean?
Well, I've got to do something, haven't I? Do you know what I mean?
I wrote that for him, folks, you know what I mean?
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing alright, mate, thank you.
Yeah?
We're fishing, didn't we? So, yeah.
We are. We're going to be fishing today, and I'm absolutely buzzing because we've got a doubles match, haven't we?
Team Strawberry Blonde sticking together, isn't it, mate?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It's about the only thing we've probably got in common when you watch my fishing.
I'm not saying nothing, mate.
But the old ginger beers, because I reckon we descend from the Vikings, I reckon.
We are a Viking descendant, mate. You know that.
I'm hoping today to get a little bit of a lesson from you, really.
Yeah, boy.
Even though we're doing a bit of content and what have you, and you know, just want to get the viewers to sort of see how you fish and, you know, have a little bit of banter and stuff like this, and just show people as well that there's that serious side of match fishing, and, you know, the fishermania, going and winning your 50 grands and stuff like this, but as well, it's all about the fun, it's all about your mental health, it's all about getting out on the bank, it's 100%. All about just enjoying yourself. And a lot of us, I had a little interview with Grant Merritt recently, and he was saying how he got into fishing. It's normally always done through your old man, innit?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it any different for you?
No different at all. My dad first started me off when I was like 3-year-old, and it's 3-year-old. I can vividly remember it. Obviously got pictures as well, but I can vividly remember being on the River Dane, stood in my little blue welly bobs with like laces on, getting soaked wet feet, catching like the goujon seemed to be like that, but obviously there were little babby things like this, catching them on a stick float, dace and everything. And ever since then I've just been hooked. It's all I've ever wanted to do.
See, I was sticklebacks in a little stream.
Go on, the sticklebacks.
Yeah,
with like a little matchstick and all that.
Yeah, but you remember when you used to be able to get down to your little corner shop and you'd have those like canes, and then you'd have like a wire around with your net, and it'd always be green or it'd be like pink or whatever. And
done well to catch them, mate, because they're fast little buggers. I'm sticklebacks.
You have to sort of force them into a corner and then
that's it. Trap them back, can't escape. That's it. Done.
Your old man took you when you were 3 years old.
Yeah, man. So yeah, we started off. Obviously, there's no commercials back then. Got into matches from a very early age, from like 6 or 7 junior matches. Fished my first senior match when I was like 9. You know, fished Middlewich Joint Anglers, loads of clubs around where I, but Middlewich Joint Anglers was the one. That's when I sort of got sponsorship through tackle shop Dave's and Middlewich. You know, I'm mentioning about Dave's and Middlewich all the time, bestest tackle shop in the world. Go on the Davids. It's just phenomenal. Then obviously the more sort of high profile matches you fish, you mix with a higher calibre of angler, and then you never stop learning this sport. That's what I love about it. Obviously, as a coach now, I'm out every single day, and obviously through our winning ways and what have you, you just get to meet such a varied people, and you know, you sort of like gleaning information off them and asking what they're doing. It just lets everyone sort of come together, if you like, you know what I mean, fishing. That's the beauty of it, and that's why I love it so much.
And do you think that it's that actually going to those matches, seeing how those higher profile, you know, the people who really expose themselves to sort of the match fishing, is what has sort of improved your fishing over time? Or are you the kind of bloke who will look into a textbook or go out and sort it all out yourself and what have you? And
big words, mate. I'm more of like little babby words in big bold and pictures. That's me. Where's my colouring pens? No, obviously, yeah, you're gonna glean information off the top anglers. What I used to do if I was doing rubbish in matches, which was quite often, I'd go and sit behind these good anglers and obviously learn from them loads. My dad's taught me loads, but then obviously, yeah, the more sort of like matches that you fish, high profile events, you can't not learn off these people. But obviously, just being out there in the thick of it, doing it every day pretty much, you know, since I packed in at the bank, I've been doing this 17 years full time, and obviously more time spent on the bank is only a good thing. You know, it's like anything, the more you put in, the more you get out, if you like. So the more practice you get, the more you get out.
Absolutely. We've said a number of times that it's a bit of an unspoken rule, isn't it, that if you go to a fishery or you fish an open match or something like this, and you know, you say you come to Tunnel Barn on a Saturday morning and you get into their open match and you don't do very well, it's a bit of an unspoken rule to go and speak to the person who's won, and nobody ever really minds giving you that advice and saying, well, this is how I fished today, because I think it varies so differently from commercial to commercial, or you know, natural venues and stuff like this, and it fishes differently all types of year. I don't think people, like, I never mind telling anybody how I've fished if I've been successful in a match or anything like that.
We tell anyone everything, and obviously, you know, myself and Jamie, obviously winning ways, you know, people come up to us, well, they don't come up to me so often, but come up to Jamie, ask, and we'll share that information. Obviously we put it out on our videos, and we genuinely are doing that. There's nothing, you know, nothing against anything else. We are literally doing what we say we're doing. The thing you've got to bear in mind though is those anglers that you go and ask to tell you exactly what they've done, they've been doing the same thing for years and years and years, so they've already got their skills honed on that particular way of fishing, if you like. So they're passing on that information for you to go and put your stamp on it. They don't mind telling you this and that because they've already done it. They've done it for years, as I say. So what's to like share the information, and that's the beauty of it. Obviously, going back in my earlier days when I go and sit behind people, I wouldn't go and obviously, excuse me, mister, have you catching? In my little story blonde squeaky voice. I'd wait obviously until the match is finished, but as long as you're like quiet and just, you know, not making any nuisance of yourself or anything like that, I don't see any harm in it whatsoever. Talking of
ways of fishing, you know, and different ways of fishing, if there's got to be one way that you'd fish for the rest of your life, how would it be?
And I absolutely adore my fishing, all aspects of fishing, but I'm going to say probably stick float on the river. It just reminds me so much of my childhood, growing up with my dad, going on there.
Does Dad still fish?
Yeah, he fishes more than me, and I go every day.
Really?
Oh yeah, he goes on like little babby ponds like this, you know, little farm ponds and that. He doesn't really fish many opens anymore, because he's sort of like, he's living it through my kids now. He's taking my kids out, and then he's taking my sister's kids out, so he's doing it all through them again. But yeah, no, it's brilliant to get out with him. But yeah, fishing wise, any rod and line, natural venues, I just absolutely adore it, mate.
So your kids, are they taking interest in it, or
they ain't got much choice, mate? Not with me and Daddy May like that. You are going fishing now.
Yeah.
The trouble you've got these days, there's so many other distractions, and obviously the
absolutely, I completely agree.
But it's just this. People often ask me what gets you, you know, interested in fishing. It's this. Obviously, yeah, I love fishing because I think it brings out that hunter-gatherer from me. Obviously, years and especially us being Vikings, isn't it?
That's it. I've always said it's like that. It's like that. First, you know, in evolution, all we ever used to do in order to live was to like hunt and catch fish and what have you.
Hunt, eat, drink. Yeah, and that's it, isn't it? But I think it stems from that, just being out amongst like the nature and all that. And that'll never ever go. But obviously these days there's so much more to grab their attention. My lad's into pretty much everything. He loves his football, loves his rugby. He just loves being out. You know what I mean? My sister's kids are the same as well, and that's what it's all about. As long as you like being out in the environment as well. It's
really good because there's a lot of distractions, isn't there, from sort of, you know, staying in the house. You know, your social media. There is something about coming and sitting on a bank, you know, having a float in the water, not knowing when it's going to go down, and then what's on the end of it.
I think that's the beauty. Yeah, it's that not knowing, and that's why Jamie always jokes to me like having a lovely day's fishing win naff all, because I love my natural baits like maggots and casters, but it's just that element, and that's what I do when I take my kids. I'm like, let them fish with maggots, float goes under, they don't know what it's going to be. You know what I mean? Last week we caught like 10 different species. I'm like, get off his maggot, you know what I mean? That'll never leave me. I just absolutely adore it. It's just phenomenal.
So tell me a bit about natural venue fishing.
Yeah, man. So obviously when I first started, and you know, when I was a 3-year-old little babby kid down here, it was all rivers, canals, reservoirs, things like that. There was no commercials about. But they make things a lot easier, the commercials, with the likes of this, parking behind your peg and everything, cafes and all that, toilets, accessibility and what have you. But naturals, yeah, there's something about fishing big, wild, open, natural venues. It's obviously you against the element. Nothing's been stocked. You've got to put your stamp on it. You've got to find out where the fish are. And I absolutely adore that style of fishing. But I don't miss a canal fishing. Obviously the bikes, the boats, the dog mess and all this, that and the other. I don't miss that. I do quite a bit of coaching on it in the town centre where I live, because it's phenomenal, you know, when them roach pack in the winter. Roach! They are not roach. Yeah. When they pack in the winter, it's phenomenal fishing. Yeah. But I think rivers are my first love. I absolutely adore them, mate.
Do you tend to fish as much in the winter as you do in the summer?
Oh yeah, probably.
Just all year round?
I actually, to be fair, winter fishing to me, to be honest with you.
And why?
Silvers.
You just love them?
Carp, well, I won't say what carp can be, because, you know, you'll have to use duck noises. Carp and F1s, they just tend to shut up shop, and they'll shoal up. Whereas silvers, because carp and F1s have like been having the bait all summer and what have you, as soon as you start getting to that colder weather, it lets the other species come through, because they're starving, like, wow! And you can just carry on catching, you know, roach, skimmers, ids, second best fish in the world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal turning your attention to them. So I'd say from October through till, well, probably a few weeks ago, to be fair, it was all silvers fishing for me. You know, little babby elastics, light lines, just so you're getting bites, natural baits. It's phenomenal fishing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Adore it.
So on first time fishing, we've got seasoned anglers, we've got first timers and stuff like this. People who have fished maybe 20 years ago, and then suddenly they've, you know, watching the videos, it's given them a bit of inspiration to come back and stuff like that. So it's really, really good. What's the one bit of advice that you would give for the seasoned angler who's maybe, you know, fishing open matches week in, week out? And for somebody who's just starting?
So open matches, I'd stick to like your 1 or 2 venues, get to know it, get to know they'll all have venue experts, you know, ask them questions, see what's happening.
Because it's like here, we have Paul Holland here all the time. And
amazing angler.
I reckon he's actually drawn the cross section of every single lake that's here, and when you watch him, it's phenomenal, man.
There's a few anglers like that at every sort of commercial, if you like, where you go to. Andy Bennett at Partridge, like ridiculous. Ridiculous anyway. Makes me sick, you do, the bagger. But there's people like that everywhere. So I'd say experienced anglers learn more off them kind of people, you know what I mean? The ones that are like doing it well all the time, from all over, not just certain pegs. And those that have never been before, it's this, as I've talked about before, Andy, it's just being out in this, feeding maggots, you know, just fishing a short whip or a little waggler setup.
It don't have to be expensive, does it?
Not at all. Just go into your tackle shop, tell them what your budget is, get a pint of maggots and just go and catch fish. Little and often with a feed, that's the biggest thing I'd definitely say.
The one thing that we've seen recently with the tackle companies, and I know that you're with Preston, is there seems to be that little market now for the cheaper end of rods and stuff. And the thing is as well, like some of the tackle that I've been sort of reviewing and having a look at and having a play with, some of the cheaper stuff I reckon's as good as the kit that was like 2 or 3 years ago. Like definitely. Where you're paying sort of top end.
That's the thing, the expensive kit doesn't help you put more fish on the bank, that kind of thing. Obviously it might be a little bit easier, a little bit, you know, nicer to fish with, but it doesn't help you catch any more fish. It's what's in here and what you can experience and what you learn and glean from other people. That's what puts more fish on the bank. And obviously what we're doing, the likes of yourself, Winning Ways, the videos that Preston put out, all these companies, like, we're giving these tips away, and just you can't not learn. There's something different every day in fishing. That's the beauty of it.
So what's next for Winning Ways then?
Oh mate, we're just in beast mode at the minute. It's just phenomenal how it's going. So we're starting our group days here tomorrow. Actually, I should have stopped over really, shouldn't I? Got straight. Actually, no, I won't get straight on it. I don't drink. How dare I drink? But yeah, we're starting our group days tomorrow. So there, we're doing the last Thursday of every month, right the way through till November. We've got the Basics channel that we launched this year, where it's pretty much
it's brilliant.
It's pretty much my channel, that, Ange.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
James, like, you can deal with that, Ange. Basic. Cheers, mate. Obviously, we're still doing the live matches. We've got loads more content. We've got Matty Dawes' stuff. We've got more members coming in. We're trying to get out with, you know, a top angler every sort of 3 or 4 weeks, putting that on. From where we started, we didn't know what to expect. So we started in 2018, and just how it's gone, it's just phenomenal. We never
You've released a book.
We've released a book.
Do you know what I mean?
So we're going to be doing, probably every couple of years, we'll try and release a book as well off the back of it, because that's been really successful. We're doing shop open days as well, you know, sort of like when we get a little bit quieter, you know, later on in the year, early part of the years. It's just phenomenal how it's gone. And, you know, lockdown was horrendous, obviously, but for us, you know, and doing the content, the live Q&As, and people watching it, that spurred, because we get a lot of messages saying, look, you know, you've spurred us on, or, you know, as you were saying before,
I'm exactly the same.
Got into fishing again. It. And for us, that's brilliant. You know, we've actually physically done that to get a spat everywhere. I do apologise. We've actually physically done that.
It's in HD, so it'll pick it up brilliantly.
Need to have a little whip and wiper on that. We've done that. We've got people back fishing, and it's just weird. You know what I mean? It's brilliant. Absolutely, and that's the beauty of our sport.
I do love it when I'll turn up at a tackle shop and someone will just, it's a little embarrassing at first, but someone will grab you and they'll be like, you know what, you've got me back into fishing. And it's brilliant. And I never mind talking to anybody. It's like a little community, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You talk about lockdown and stuff like that, how it was horrendous.
Yeah, man.
But fishing was one of the first things that got pushed to actually enable us to go out and actually do something and not stay in our houses, wasn't it? And that is what inspired me to set up the First Time Fishing channel. And being a paramedic and mental health being massively big, and we were seeing such a difference in mental health through going out onto 999 calls and everything. I thought about how could I sort out one of my passions to sort of try and get people out. And I set up the channel just trying to teach people how to go out and how I do things, and it might not be the right way. There's so many different ways in there, but I've got a few quickfire questions.
Go on, mate.
All right. So I'm going to give you two sort of items, a tackle or something like that, and then you got to pick one. My first one are shots or stots.
100% shots.
Why?
Because stots move too much all the time. If you imagine, because obviously presentation, so these aren't going to be quick fire, by the way, because I do like to waffle. You imagine presentation and feeding are the two biggest things in fishing by a million mile. The other way around, not feeding and presentation. So you imagine stots, if you've got them, say, like reverse tapered, for example, every fish or decent fish that you're netting, them stots will be moving. So you've got to take time to put them back into the same position, because if you don't, you aren't going to get as fish as quick because of the presentation. So that, over the course of 5 hours, is taking time. So 100% shots. But there are situations where I'll definitely use stots, like back shots, or if I'm fishing shallow, because every time I move depth, I need to move my shots as well. Yeah, boy.
Okay. So not the simple answer that I was looking for, but it was,
you said quick fire. Nothing's quick fire with me, mate.
Mono or fluorocarbon?
Mono, 100%. Unless you're feeder fishing, then fluorocarbon comes into it. Fluorocarbon. If fluorocarbon made a difference, and everyone at fish point 20, it doesn't make a blind bit of difference. It's too brittle for me, too heavy. No, get on a mono.
I love it. Right, so float or feeder fishing? I think I think I already know the answer to that one. If you say
obviously,
you like
I love all aspects of fishing, but float, 100% float. Be it obviously the pole watching a float, or sometimes not watching a float. But in particular, stick float, waggler, slider, probably in that order. I just absolutely adore it. Just takes me back to when I was a kid, as I say, and just that'll never leave me. Love it.
Do you get out with your dad much?
Yeah. Oh, in the summer, like, so when I've done my coaching, so I'll finish my coaching at say 3 o'clock. I'll give him a ring, see where he is, and I'll go for an hour or two with him. That's like every night in the summer. Or I'll go on the river with my lad.
And he gives you a lesson.
Yeah, he does. Fish is paste down there, just bloody paste.
My old man's exactly the same. He's like, he always says, like, because he introduced me into fishing, I'll never be better than him. That's it. It's just,
I'll never be better than Daddy.
You just never ever trump him, do you?
No. Even arm wrestle, still can't beat him in arm wrestle.
And our kids will never trump us, will they? That's it.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. Not a chance. So, match fishing or pleasure fishing?
Do you know what? I love both. I'm going to say match fishing, but I love pleasure fishing on natural venues. I can't pleasure fish. I couldn't come here today, for example, fish on my own. But if like you and next pair go, have my lad with me, my dad, I could do that because I'll be trying to beat you. But again, that comes back to the match element. So I'm going to say match fishing.
And then final question: summer or winter?
Winter.
And you've already pretty much answered that, haven't
I
you?
have. I mean, don't
like
get me wrong. I love my summer, my shallow fishing, but then winter fishing, everything calms down. You can turn your attention to silvers. Again, I think it comes back to the old days, if you like, before commercials, when it was all sort of silvers, roach and hybrids and skimmers and pitch on the cave. It just comes back to that, and that's why I love me so much.
Yeah.
But then I love my summer shallow fishing, but winter.
So with for the people who are first starting out, or the seasoned anglers and stuff like, we have got a charity match that's going to be here on the 24th of June, and that's all going to be raising funds for Birmingham Children's Hospital. And what I'll do is I'll just put a little link just up in the top corner, just up here, so we can just, people who want your tickets for that, it's £25, and that's all your peg fees and everything. There'll be a little auction on the day as well, and I think you've sorted a couple of hats out, signed hats, haven't you, for us? So that'll be brilliant. So there'll be a little
Jamie signature, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we can fudge that. We can just do a little Jamie one. That's absolutely fine. And I just want to thank you for taking the time out.
Hey, mate, you're more than welcome. I think it's fantastic what you're doing, and to carry on with it. It's brilliant.
No, I really appreciate it, and I know the subscribers will love it, because when you look at your Google Analytics and all that, it says that most of mine all subscribe to Winning Ways anyway. So happy days.
Oh, fantastic, mate, brilliant.
Anyway, thanks ever so much. Do you want to finish off the video?
Right then, folks, if you're fishing this weekend, don't forget, stick a load of magpies in and fish shallow.
Yeah! Mate.
Awesome, mate.
Brilliant.
Oh, you're welcome, mate.
You're a top man.
That meant that. Love that.